One of the best ways to make progress when you're practicing piano is to actually record your practice. So in today's video, what I want to talk about is why you should record your practice, how to record your practice, and what you should do with your recordings once you've done them. As always, there's multiple chapters in this video, so if you want to jump around, feel free to look in the description just to see what's available, and then you can skip around looking for the sections that you find more interesting. So the first thing I want to cover is why should you record your practice? When you're actually practicing or playing through a piece, it's really difficult for you to focus on what you're doing, extracting as much sort of musicianship as you can out of what you're playing, and also have a keen ear for what's going wrong. The other thing is as well, sometimes I can play through a piece and I can be going, oh, there's bar 7's not worked very well. There's bar 23 didn't work very well, and it didn't work very well at the end. And then I finish playing the piece and I go, I can't remember what mistakes I made. So the good thing about having that recording is that you can go back and check that. The other thing is, when you're in a lesson, you've got a teacher that's got an eye in your hands, an eye in your posture, and a keen ear to what you're actually playing. As I said already, you just can't do that yourself. So this allows you to be able to do that as if you're your own teacher, teaching yourself sort of thing, from one lesson to the next. The other thing is as well, you can really find out what it sounds like. Sometimes I must admit I over-romanticize how good my piano is, and then I'd listen back to it and I'm like, ooh, that's incredibly flat. So then I can go back and I can focus on those areas and try and add a wee bit more colour to them, or play them correctly, whatever I need to actually fix. The other thing about recording is when you start doing it, it's almost like having a mini audience. You can find yourself feeling a wee bit of pressure, and sometimes a wee bit of pressure is good because it starts to show some cracks that you maybe think you didn't have when you just practice without the recordings. The last thing is, if you do decide to keep your recordings, because some people ditch them as soon as they get them because they don't want anybody else seeing them, is you can actually have a track of how you're doing. If you record all your sessions, or even just parts of your sessions over time, like if you go back 3 or 4 weeks in your recordings and you listen back to one that you've maybe made like now or whatever, then you can see the progress that you made, and fingers crossed that you actually have made progress. If you haven't, then that's another issue. Second thing I want to go into is how to record your videos. You don't need an all singing, all dancing music studio to be able to do this. You can really start quite simply. If you just want to record audio, it's not the track I would go down, then obviously you can just use a smart device. You can just shove your phone at the end of your piano or your keyboard and click on record, and then grab that audio, and then you can use that later. As I said, I would probably not recommend just doing audio, because quite often posture or torso position at the piano can make a difference to how you're playing. So if you do decide to go down the video route, then you can see exactly what position your body's in. Now, to do that, again, you don't need anything more than your smartphone. You can just shove it at the end of your piano or keyboard at a slight angle and try and capture everything there. If you've got a stand, that would be better, because then you can put it slightly further back from yourself, and that means that you can see the full picture when you're playing back. Last thing I want to cover is what to actually do with a recording. Now, I have in numerous lessons asked a student what they thought of the recording and what they used with it, and they'll say, I never watched it back, I just sent it on to you, or the teacher, to analyse. It's not super helpful. It's good that you're doing the recording. As I said, it'll help you get that wee bit of pressure on you, and as if you've got an audience. Now that's good, but you can't really fully utilise the recording if you just record and then ditch it. Once you've done the recording, then step away from the piano and take your music with you. So if I played a bit of music and then I took the book away and I watched my recording, I could actually, when I'm listening and watching, I can have a look through and just follow the score as the music goes along. If there's any wee bits that I don't like, I can just kind of tick them or cross them, or write in a wee note, just it could say right hand loud or left hand loud, or no phrasing, or no dynamic, or whatever it may be. And that then gives you something to work on. The key things that you want to be marking out are the likes of rhythms, articulation, dynamics. Notes is always good, I suppose, and phrasing. Just watch out for those things, and just when you're listening back, just see if you can actually clearly hear what you thought you were playing when you were on the piano. And as I mentioned in another video, the good thing about making these wee notes on your music, it helps you to make goals for your next practice session. Now, goals are incredibly important, and I talk about it in a couple of practice videos actually, which I'll link to the card to the playlist above. Going into a practice session blind with not really having anything to aim for has its benefits only very occasionally. Mostly you should have a goal to work towards, and hopefully that can intensify your practice sessions and move you forward faster. I recently reviewed a book called How to Practice Music by Andrew Eales, which you can find the review just here. That's a really good book for going over all the different aspects of things you should be thinking about when you're recording, so when you're practicing, sorry, not just recording stuff, but also what you should be thinking about, what you should be targeting and stuff like that. Again, thanks very much for watching. Have a great day and I'll see you soon.